Still kind of waking up, so I wasn't really providing much commentary on the first one, but I'll try to kind of work it in. I'm not gonna try to do too much or anything, but just if it feels natural, you know. All right, we're on Exodus 12. Here we go. The first Passover. While the Israelites were still in the land of Egypt, the Lord gave the following instructions to Moses and Aaron. From now on, this month will be the first month of the year for you. Announce to the whole community of Israel that on the 10th day of this month, each family must choose a lamb or a young goat for a sacrifice, one animal for each household. If a family is too small to eat a whole animal, let them share with another family in the neighborhood. Divide the animal according to the size of each family and how much they can eat. The animal you select must be a 1-year-old male, either a sheep or a goat with no defects. Take special care of this chosen animal until the evening of the 14th day of this first month. Then the whole assembly of the community of Israel must slaughter their lamb or young goat at twilight. They are to take some of the blood and smear it on the sides and top of the door frames of the houses where they eat the animal. That same night, they must roast the meat over a fire and eat it along with bitter salad greens and bread made without yeast. Do not eat any of the meat raw or boiled in water. The whole animal, including the head, legs, and internal organs, must be roasted over a fire. Do not leave any of it until the next morning. Burn whatever is not eaten before morning. These are your instructions for eating this meal. Be fully dressed, wear your sandals, and carry your walking stick in your hand. Eat the meal with urgency, for this is the Lord's Passover. On that night I will pass through the land of Egypt and strike down every firstborn son and every firstborn male animal in the land of Egypt. I will execute judgment against all the gods of Egypt, for I am the Lord. But the blood on your doorposts will serve as a sign, marking the houses where you are staying. Where I see the blood, I will pass over you. This plague of death will not touch you when I strike the land of Egypt. This is a day to remember. Each year, from generation to generation, you must celebrate it as a special festival to the Lord. It is a law for all time. For 7 days, the bread you must eat be made. Well, for 7 days, the bread you eat must be made without yeast. On the first day of the festival, remove any trace of yeast from your homes. Anyone who eats bread made with yeast during the 7 days of the festival will be cut off from the community of Israel. On the first day of the festival, and again on the 7th day, all the people must observe an official day for holy assembly. No work of any kind may be done on these days except in the preparation of food. Celebrate this festival of unleavened bread, for it will remind you that I brought your forces out of the land of Egypt on this very day. The festival will be a permanent law for you. Celebrate this day from generation to generation. Oh, page has got a little sticky. Hold on. Okay. Celebrate this festival from generation to generation. The bread you eat must be made without yeast from the evening of the 14th day of the first month until the evening of the 21st day of that month. During those 7 days, there must be no trace of yeast in your homes. Anyone who eats anything made with yeast during this week will be cut off from the community of Israel. These regulations apply both to the foreigners living among you and to the native-born Israelites. During those days, you must not eat anything made with yeast. Wherever you live, eat only bread made without yeast. Then Moses called all the elders of Israel together and said to them, Go, pick out a lamb or young goat for each of your families and slaughter the Passover animal. Drain the blood into a basin. Then take a bundle of hyssop branches and dip it into the blood. Brush the hyssop across the top and sides of the door frames of your houses, and no one may go out through the door until morning, for the Lord will pass through the land and strike down the Egyptians. But when he sees the blood on the top and sides of the door frame, the Lord will pass over your home. He will not permit his death angel to enter your house and strike you down. Remember, these instructions are a permanent law that you and your descendants must observe forever. When you enter the land the Lord has promised to give you, you will continue to observe this ceremony. Then your children will then your children will ask, what does the ceremony mean? And you will reply, it is the Passover sacrifice to the Lord, for he passed over the houses of the Israelites in Egypt, and though he struck the Egyptians, he spared our families. When Moses had finished speaking, all the people bowed down to the ground and worshipped. So the people of Israel did just as the Lord had commanded through Moses and Aaron. And that night, at midnight, the Lord struck down all the firstborn sons in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn son of Pharaoh, who sat on his throne, to the firstborn son of the prisoner in the dungeon. Even the firstborn of their livestock were killed. Pharaoh and all his officials and all the people of Egypt woke up during the night. A loud wailing was heard throughout the land of Egypt. There was not a single house where someone had not died. Heavy. It seems like, forgive me, God, for saying this, you seemed a lot less merciful back in the day. It seems like you've become a lot more lenient, a lot more forgiving over time. Unless that's just how people perceive you. Because, like, I mean, churches nowadays, they could just be fluffing it up and, like, taking this stuff and, like, fluffing up the message just to make you feel good. It's not the actual message. So I think that's what I've been exposed to for the longest time. So getting back to the source material, well, sort of New Living Translation, but I mean, God, that King James version with all the thys and thous, a little tough to read, not gonna lie, but figure I'll do this one and then maybe give that one a try next. Kind of gradually work into it, looking testing the waters, or using this one as my gateway drug to more Bibles and more religious literature and teachings and philosophy and information, ideology, and all that good stuff that would be nice to know, just to be able to connect with others and know where you're coming from. Even if you agree with it, disagree with it, just know of it. So that way, if somebody comes at you with that information, be like, oh, I can see where you're coming from. Instead of being like, whoa, what is that you're talking about? No, and then or start fighting and stuff like that. Now, at least have the information so can work with others, not against them. I am working with God, working with God's people. Let's do stuff together. Trying to learn about you guys. We're learning together, going straight from the beginning all the way to the end. I wonder if the different versions of the Bible, like some have more stuff in them. Is that anyway? Sorry. End of sidebar. We gotta find our spot. Oh yeah, no, I was just taking a break because we were reading about all the firstborn sons. They all died, and that was heavy, and I kind of got a little choked up. I'm like, whoa, that's that's just so savage. It's like, what the actual F, Big G? Like, what happened there? Like, why so brutal? It seemed a little excessive. Excessive force? I guess when you're talking to God, it's like, I mean, he knows. It's like, what are we gonna do about it? But you spared us, or you spared your people. You didn't smite me, so that's cool. Thanks. But if you're going around smiting other people, it's like, why? Is it okay if I ask why? Is that all right? I'm just thinking about the Nuremberg trials and people getting accused of just following orders when the people in charge were doing a bunch of crazy, tyrannical things. And like those people didn't speak up because they didn't feel like they're either allowed to, didn't want to, didn't want to get hurt, is that a fear, yada yada, whatever excuse it was, they didn't speak up, and this whole tyrannical regime took over Nazi Germany for a few years, and a lot of people died. So when it comes to God, though, what kind of comments can we make I'm sure we can just pray and be like, hey man, I just wanted to check in. Be like, what's the plan? I'd like to be in the loop. That way I can know what to do next. I can react according to your plan if I'm like I kind of know what's going on for the most part. I don't gotta know everything, but I just gotta know enough to be able to contribute positively. So that way it comes at the benefit of everyone rather than the expense of anyone. So, all right, we're picking up. So, all right, we're good. Caught a breath. Israel's exodus from Egypt. Pharaoh sent for Moses and Aaron during the night. Get out, he ordered. Leave my people and take the rest of the Israelites with you. Go and worship the Lord as you have requested. Take your flocks and herds as you said and be gone. Go, but bless me as you leave. It's like but hey, before you go, just bless me real quick. Before you head out. All the Egyptians urged the people of Israel to get out of the land as quickly as possible, for they thought, we will all die. Oh no, we're gonna die. Won't someone think about the children? The Israelites took their bread dough before yeast was added. They wrapped their kneading boards in their cloaks and carried them on their shoulders. And the people of Israel did as Moses had instructed. They asked the Egyptians for clothing and articles of silver and gold. The Lord caused the Egyptians to look favorably on the Israelites, and they gave the Israelites whatever they asked for. So they stripped the Egyptians of their wealth. Is this where the that stereotype of like Jewish people stealing money came from? It's like bankers and stuff like that. Is this where this originated? I have no idea. I don't want to make false accusations or like claims. I have no idea, but this seems like the first thing I've come across in the Bible regarding that. At least I remember. Okay. Anyway, horrible stereotype, but I'm just curious. That night, the people of Israel left Ramses and started for Succoth. There were about 600,000 men, plus all the women and children. A rabble of non-Israelites went with them, along with the great flocks and herds of livestock. For bread, they baked flat cakes from the dough without yeast they had brought from Egypt. It was made without yeast because the people were driven out of Egypt in such a hurry that they had no time to prepare the bread or other food. The people of Israel lived in Egypt for 430 years. In fact, it was on the last day of the 430th year that all the Lord's forces left the land. On this night, the Lord kept his promise to bring his people out of the land of Egypt. So this night belongs to him, and it must be commemorated every year by all the Israelites from generation to generation. Instructions for the Passover. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, these are the instructions for the festival of Passover. No outsiders are allowed to eat the Passover meal, but any slave who has been purchased may eat it if he has been circumcised. Temporary residents and hired servants may not eat it. Each Passover lamb must be eaten in one house. Do not carry any of its meat outside, and do not break any of its bones. The whole community of Israel must celebrate this Passover festival. If there are foreigners living among you who want to celebrate the Lord's Passover, let all their males be circumcised. Only then may they celebrate the Passover with you like any non-native or like any native-born Israelite. But no uncircumcised male may ever eat the Passover meal. This instruction applies to everyone, whether a native-born Israelite or a foreigner living among you. Is that why we're all circumcised here? In the US, is that just is that still a thing? Can I eat Passover? Sorry, I'm TMI. Oh my God, back up. Sorry, TMI. I am getting into a subject that is not appropriate for this. Not at the moment, not while we're reading the Bible. Actually, I don't know. The Bible goes hard. It talks about certain things. I'm getting off topic though, so I don't need to talk about anybody else's circumcisions. But I wonder if I can eat Passover. Anyway, Here we go. This instruction applies to everyone, whether a native-born Israelite or a foreigner living among you. So all the people of Israel followed all the Lord's commands to Moses and Aaron. On that very day, the Lord brought the people of Israel out of the land of Egypt like an army. All right, Exodus 12. Epic. That was awesome.